Hello YouTube, RGA Nick here, and welcome back to another episode of the Redstone Workshop. I'm going to show you something cool today. As you can see right now, I'm on the top of a mountain, and I've got a little house here. Not very impressive, just a small little house, but let's just pretend for a second that this is a castle. And we wanted to make a drawbridge to make sure that no one can get in or out when we don't want them to. So, what I've done is come up with two separate designs for a drawbridge. And I'm going to show you both of them and how to easily do them. Let's just start off with this one here. This is probably the most simple of all the drawbridge styles. And as you can see, I could just walk right over the top of it and nothing happens. And that's a good thing. You don't want something to happen when you're walking over it yourself. Now let's say, for example, it's getting dark out or you see someone coming that you don't want getting into your home. All you'd have to do is come over here and pull this lever. And as you can see, this now opens up to a bottomless pit. Now, you could jump over there, maybe. As you can see, I hit my head on that ceiling block there. But, yeah, it's not really a fun fall down. And if someone's coming from this way, now that these pistons have extended, they're not allowed to get through here. So, it kind of blocks them off there, too. Now, let me explain why I have these pistons here. Technically, you could make the drawbridge with just these little trap doors, and it would work fine. The only problem is, when the trap doors are down, you can still walk across the edge of the trap doors. So, players and maybe even mobs might be able to get caught on this ledge and walk all the way across without any problems. So that's why I put these pistons here to make sure that nothing can get through the doorway. Like I said, this is the most simple of redstone drawbridges, mainly because all you really need is redstone dust and trapdoors, which is just wood. And if you want to put the piston at the end, you can put the piston at the end. It doesn't even have to be sticky pistons. I just used that because I was going to put blocks in front of it, but got lazy and just used the pistons themselves. So the only other thing you're going to need is a repeater. You're going to need 2 repeaters per side, more depending on the length. And I'm going to show you something interesting on the side over here. You'll notice I've got this little cutout here that kind of repeats this way and then repeats this way. And you've got this little part back here which runs underneath. So let me show you this part first. This is probably the most simplest to explain. Basically, when you turn this lever on, the lever sends a redstone signal out. Whoa. And it only sends it to this path here. So it would never get to the other side over there where we have the extra redstone. So I made this little path that goes underneath it and then brings the redstone up and then sends the signal to this side so that both sides open. So that's the reason for that. And back to this little platform here, you know, why do I have a repeater here? Well, if I take this repeater out, you'll see that it stops just short. It doesn't power the last one, it doesn't power that piston. And the other side's the same way. And so what I had to do was I had to put a repeater in here to boost the signal so that it would send it all the way across down to there. Now, when I put this repeater in here, it skips whatever's here, whether it's a piston or a trapdoor. So you see this one's still up, and it shouldn't be. So in order to get around that, I created this little block which basically takes the redstone and then puts it in a repeater which forces it into this block. So now this block that this repeater is sitting on is powered, and it closes that side. And the exact same thing's over here. You know, this sends the power that way, but now this block it's sitting on would be depowered, so I take power off the line and force it into that block to get that gate to open. So, relatively simple. Like I said, material-wise, all you need is really redstone and wood, and you're pretty much set, because the repeaters are just stone, redstone torches, and I believe that's it. So, not really too hard to make at all. It's pretty effective. If you want to add the pistons, it's just a little bit of iron you'll need to add in there too. So, like I said, this is probably the easiest and quickest one to make. Now, if you want to get onto something a little more complicated, you could make this method here. So, it looks like you are just walking down a regular stone hallway. You know, you've got a nice little view of the world out there, and you're not really thinking too much about it. Well, if we come back here and turn this switch on, you'll notice that the entire floor has just disappeared. That's because we're using sticky pistons to suck the blocks away when we turn the switch on. And you'll notice that there is no ledge to grab onto if you jump, so you really don't need that extra little piston over here. If anything comes this way, they're going to jump and they're just going to fall. So it's really effective, and it's pretty cool looking too, because this is probably more deadly than the other one, because if people are walking over this here, they might get a little nervous, like, oh, why is there all this redstone and trapdoors around here? Whereas this method over here is hidden completely. I mean, if you didn't have this glass here, they wouldn't be able to see the redstone running along the sides of here, and they would have no idea that they're standing on something that could fall out from underneath them at any time. And again, this is the exact same theory as we've got going on over here. We've just got our pistons, and behind the pistons we've got a line of redstone, and this side actually has enough power to make it all the way across without needing a repeater. But this side here did need the repeater. It needed it to be able to send it all the way across because the signal's coming from a little further away. But as you can see, it's really simple as well. It's just the problem with this is you need a lot of iron, because each one of these uses a piece of iron. And then the biggest part is, in order to make a sticky piston, you have to find slime balls. So you have to either get to a swamp somewhere or give them to yourself or whatever. But I like this method a lot more. You could use this for a ton of different things, but I just really like the look of that, because it just looks, now you can tell there's no floor there, and then now it looks like absolutely nothing's wrong with this area. So this one's probably my favorite, but if you're in a survival world, it's a lot harder to make this style, just because it does require more materials. But, I mean, this one's still effective, too. So I'll give them both credit. And as we can see, the sun is going down. So it's pretty much time to close up our little castle drawbridges, and we can head back into our house. So, obviously, just so you guys know, anyone could place blocks on the ground and run across the top and stuff. So, I mean, that's not really the point of this. I mean, if you've got friends that do that stuff, then maybe you need to find some new friends who will play along a little bit better, because, I mean, this is Minecraft after all. You could just go through and place your own path on the ground if you want, but that takes all the fun out of it. So I just want to show you guys this video. It's, like I said, it's really simple to do, and I hope you guys are able to make something like this. If you have any questions at all, don't hesitate to ask. I'll definitely try to elaborate on anything that I might have skipped over or went over too quickly or something. So make sure to leave it in the comments below. If you guys like my videos, make sure to please subscribe and comment and like them, and I will continue making them for you. Until next time, thanks for watching another episode, and I will see you guys again tomorrow.